And the number one movie of 2021 is... Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel Lifestyle Critic. I hope you're having a brilliant day. So in this video we are going to be reviewing the top 10 movies of 2021, and on that point 2021 has massively picked up on the movie genre business. This has been such a brilliant year, a truly incredible year in fact, for the movie business, and in turn making this list was actually really challenging, and there have been some awesome movies that just very narrowly missed out on this list, and I'm so excited to break it down with you right now. So in at number 10 is Blithe Spirit. Now this is a super underrated movie, and I'm sure will be surprising to a lot of you that it even made it into this list, but it's such a fun movie, really funny, excellent performances from Dan Stevens, Leslie Mann, Judi Dench, Isla Fisher. It's just such a brilliant movie to totally escape into, and I feel like when it first came out it was just the perfect tonic that everyone needed during the pandemic, as it was just such a fun movie that literally will lift your spirits, and I just highly recommend watching it if you haven't seen it already. So in at number 9 is Ron's Gone Wrong. Now of course this isn't the first movie to really focus on technology and friendships and unexpected lessons that can be learned, but it was just done in such a fun and endearing way, and I just thought this animated movie, in a year where actually there were a lot of good animated movies, this one really stood out from the pack and had to have a space in this top 10 list. So in at number 8 is ShangChi, which is just such an awesome new Marvel movie. You'll be surprised actually, this movie list doesn't have that many Marvel movies despite this year having a lot of Marvel movie releases. But as far as Shang-Chi is concerned, it had some truly wicked sequences, awesome characters, really funny. I loved all of the world that you were transformed into in this movie, and definitely one of the best solo outings from any of the whole Marvel suite of characters. And I literally just can't wait to see what on earth is going to happen next with Shang-Chi. In at number 7 is The Tomorrow War. Now again, in a world where there have been loads of apocalyptic based movies, this one actually did a really good job in not only standing out from the crowd, but also packing loads of action sequences with a lot of emotional sequences as well. I mean, when this movie first came out, I did think that the start of this movie was actually pretty weak, but it just went on this massive upward trajectory that by the end of this movie, it was just so incredible, and as such, it just had to have a space in this list. So in at number 6 is Red Notice, which is Netflix's most successful original movie today. I know this movie gets a bit of a hard time as people really do knock it. I actually think it's a really great movie. I loved all of the twists and turns. I mean, it's super star powered, and I feel like Dwayne Johnson, Gal Gadot, and of course Ryan Reynolds do such a brilliant job in this movie. Like I said, I loved all of the twists and turns, and I just think it's ultimately such a fun movie that despite the fact that sure, it is a really cheesy flick as well, it is just such an enjoyable film that you can totally escape into as well. So we have now entered the top 5, and in at number 5 has to be Raya the Last Dragon. I thought this movie was absolutely brilliant, literally did put Disney animations totally back on the map, and it did feel a little bit similar and akin, hark back actually to big Disney animation movies that are very underappreciated, namely Treasure Planet and Atlantis, as this movie had such a cool adventure quest aspect to it, and I feel like Raya was such a brilliant, formidable leader figure in this movie, and I loved all of the adventures that all of the characters went into in this movie. So in at number 4 is the super cool Mortal Kombat live action reboot, which was released at a similar time as when they were also restarting a new franchise in animated form. So this concept and the start of the Mortal Kombat movies has been done to death, no pun intended. But I just feel like this movie really is starting a really cool new sequence in live action space, and I just thought it was a really cool movie. Of course it wasn't a perfect movie, definitely not a flawless movie, again no pun intended, but I just think from a casting point of view it was absolutely awesome, and even though they had a really limited budget, they really were able to make all of the visual spectacle aspects of this movie look really cool, and I understand it was one of the most successful films on HBO Max, and I just can't wait to see what's going to happen next. So we're in the top 3 now, and in at number 3 has to be Free Guy. I mean, Ryan Reynolds totally is on fire with all of his movies that he released this year, and I just think Free Guy was so good. It was really, really cool just to escape into Free City. I loved all of the cameos that they had, all of the video game references. I feel like anybody who plays video games will totally instantly be able to relate and laugh at all of the nods to video game sequences that they have in this movie. And like I said, it is just such a wicked movie to escape into, and it's just such a cool film as well. So just narrowly missing the top spot in at number 2 is the Snyder Cup, which I think is just such an awesome film. And I love the fact that it was a fan hashtag based campaign on Twitter that even got this made, that Zack Snyder was totally able to live his true vision and really able to showcase this without any interference. I just think it's absolutely incredible what the fans and what Zack Snyder and of course the cast and the creators were able to make with this movie, and it is totally 4 hours of pure joy. And the Justice League are just such awesome characters, and I just feel like Zack Snyder brought them together in a bit of a dark and humorous way, and it was just such a cool movie, and it's a little bit of a travesty actually that we're not going to be able to continue it in the future space within the DCEU universe. So getting the number 1 spot in terms of the most successful and biggest and best movie of 2021, of course, it has to be SpiderMan No Way Home, literally in another league of its own. Already the most successful movie to be released during the pandemic, the first $1 billion movie to be released during the pandemic, one of the top 3 movies ever from an opening weekend point of view, and I believe it is already the most profitable movie ever made. Already more successful than Star Wars Force Awakens, even though this was released during a pandemic. Absolutely outstanding, and like I said, what they did and what they managed to achieve in this movie in terms of really celebrating everything that any Spider-Man fan from a movie point of view has loved in this film was absolutely wicked. Bringing back all 3 of the Spider-Man actors was just absolutely incredible. Like I said, this movie was absolutely brilliant from an action point of view, but also more importantly, just really hit the heart of every single fan from an emotional point of view, which is why it had to get the number 1 spot in this list. So those are my top 10 movies released so far in 2021. Like I said, this movie list was really, really hard to make, as there have been some formidable movies that have been released so far, and now I'd love to hear from you, so please let me know your top 10 list in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.